Hello and welcome to a Not So Awesome review. Today we're doing a tutorial kind of just for beginners on figurized standard model kits, and for this tutorial I'm going to be using the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan model because I didn't have it yet. I was thinking of doing one of the Gokus, but saw this in the local shop I go to today and decided, I'm going to get this one, and we'll do it with this because it's more or less the same body as Goku. It's a little bit easier actually because it's going to be a little bit simpler. He's smaller, not so many pieces, though all of them don't really have too many pieces. And yeah, so like I said, this is for beginners who are kind of, I wouldn't say scared, but hesitant to pick up a figurized standard kit because you don't like model kits, you don't want to put them together, you think it's going to be too hard. Maybe you just want to see what comes in the box, and this is pretty much me showing you guys that. You can see the box here from side to side. One thing I will say is if you're in North America, I want to say, I don't know about Mexico and Canada for sure, but I know for the US, everything is distributed through Bluefin. So I will say it isn't, I'm not saying it's like important to be getting like Bluefin distribution stuff. Sorry for that zoom in, I just want to be able to focus here. But if you buy and you get the Bluefin sticker, it's good because in case you break something, in case it's missing a piece for whatever reason, you can contact Bluefin. They'll ask for, what part is broken, how did it break, more or less, and who you bought it from. And they'll send you a replacement piece, usually for free. I've done it before for a Figma, so heads up, Bluefin is what you kind of want if you're over here. If it doesn't have it, don't be scared or anything, just, be careful not to break anything, and you should be good. So I'm going to open this up so you guys can see exactly how it looks like when you get one of these. You get a few bags like this with the screws inside. And of course you get your instruction book right here, which I think Bandai did a good job here. And I think they're doing this with more Gundams too, but I want to say it started with these. They're also in English. So you can see here, it's Japanese up here, but down here in English. And even if it wasn't, all of these kind of instructions for model kits are kind of universal. It's just a mix match kind of puzzle thing going on. You gotta get the right sprue and the right piece together. So it's nothing fancy or anything like that. You can see here, it kind of tells you what to do. It tells you how to cut the sprue. It says cut a part with nippers with some margin. They tell you to do that so that you can kind of sand it down. You can cut it off if you need to. And yeah, simple instructions. You can see A4, A12, A14. And in case you don't know what that means, one of these sprues here is going to have the letter A on it. From there, you're going to look for the number 4, 12, and 14. You're going to cut them out. You're going to put them together exactly as shown in the picture. So really, it's nothing too crazy. I'm going to open these up really quick off camera just so you don't have to hear the noise. And I will be right back. Alright, so as you can see here, I have all the pieces kind of laid out in front of me. One thing I did want to mention is, although they're all kind of bagged separately, it doesn't matter. Open them all up anyway. They're not like Legos where it's kind of like do bag A first and then do bag B or anything like that. They're just bagged separately, I don't know, to keep them from damaging each other. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. You're going to be going through all the pieces one by one anyway. More or less. I mean, there's things like right here, the Dragon Ball Kamehameha wave thing. That's going to be all put together by itself. Same thing with the stand. You can really just put those aside for right now. It does come with a sticker for the tongue, which you can choose to use, or you can choose to paint. It's really up to you. It looks like part of my blue one did break, which happens, but it's not really the piece that's broken, it's just that it broke off the sprue there. But again, not really a big deal. So like I was mentioning earlier, they do have all letters corresponding to what they are. So you can see right here is A, and up here would be piece 9. It does have a line under it, so you know that's a 9 and not a 6. The 6 up here, there's a line under it, so you know that that's a 6. And that's pretty much how it works. Each one has its own number 1 through whatever number is on the sprue. Like right here, we have D, and again, D has its own number 1, as you can see right up here. So It's pretty simple, nothing crazy there. Uh, yeah, this one is looking like it's a pretty much simpler kit, which is what I expected because it is a smaller Gohan. So one thing you're going to want to use to cut these, because I know a lot of people kind of, at least who don't really know the hobby or anything, are probably going to be tempted to kind of just get their fingers and kind of like, maybe cut it out like that, maybe move it back and forth until it breaks off. I wouldn't recommend doing that because you do kind of run the risk of breaking either the piece, breaking off a piece of plastic extra that you don't want to, something like that. I don't recommend you using an X-Acto knife or anything like that because you can scratch the piece or something like that too, or any kind of knife. What I recommend is you get something like these. These are hobby snippers. You don't need these exactly. I will have a link down below for you guys to get this. It's all like a kit that comes with this, some sanding sticks, some I believe tweezers, and part separator, stuff that I'll get into in a later video. But if you don't want to get one of these, you don't want to wait for one in the mail or whatever, go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, maybe even Walmart, I would assume, and get some wire cutters kind of like these, and they work just as well. As you can see, cuts the piece there. Obviously, it flattened it out because it's a round piece, but that's kind of what I would expect from that anyway, because it does it right there too. But yeah, let's just do this first piece so you can kind of get a sense of how this goes. So first we need A4, which is up here. So go over there, cut A4. Now in the instructions, it does tell you to kind of cut away from it, like back here, which you can do. It's probably more recommended because then you can get a cleaner cut on the bottom. I don't do that. Just never have personally. I never really run into much of an issue, but if you want to cut away from it and not cut too close, then that's up to you. I like doing it close because I'm trying to be careful, not to cut anything extra, but that way I don't necessarily have to sand every piece, which, if you don't know, that's for nub mark removal, and that will be probably like in a part 2 of this. But let's see, A4, next would be A12, which is right here. So, well, I mean, might as well just grab these and just cut. I'm going to use these. These are definitely better. They're newer than the other ones too, so they're not as dulled out as my my wire cutters. Okay, so we have A12, and we just need A14, which is right next to it. And any noises you hear in the background is my dog sleeping. But yeah, okay, so we have A14, A12, which looks like these pieces go in like this. And you can see right here, there's like excess plastic. Let's see if I can focus. It's hard to do. I need a third something to push the button to focus. But right here, there's an excess piece of plastic. I know it's blurry, but you can kind of see it there. That's the stuff you want to get rid of, because if you don't, it can interfere with the pieces kind of closing on each other. That one probably wouldn't have done not really too much, but it'll keep the pieces from closing all the way, and it'll have like a little bit of a gap. It won't look good. Of course, there is like things like seam line removal, which involves using plastic cement, and that requires sanding for sure. But again, that's something for a later video. So you can see the two pieces just snap in easily, and then we have that piece snaps in right there. No problem. Pretty simple. Let's just finish off this part, and then I will probably end this video, because there's really no point of me sitting here and doing the whole model kit. But I will do a part 2 where we go over nub removal and maybe seam line removal. It's kind of a hassle because, like I said, it involves glue, and when you use the glue, you do have to sand it, and when you're sanding, then you do really have to paint because you don't want it to look ugly, and it kind of just turns into this whole thing, which I'm kind of not feeling like doing right now. Besides, it's actually too cold to be doing any type of spray painting at the moment. Which again, you could use things like acrylic paint. You can use airbrush and stuff, which a lot of people do. And if you know how to use an airbrush, you can make your figures look really really good because you can kind of get as much shading, go as heavy or as light as you want with it. But I'm not, super proficient in that. So, and I don't really have a good space to do it because it does get messy. And in case you don't know, what I'm mentioning about the cold and everything right now is if you try and spray paint in the cold, it won't go so well. It actually recommends to be around, I want to say like 70 degrees or something like that, between 70 and 90. I guess if it gets too hot too, then it's not a good thing. The paint kind of slushes up when it's too cold. I don't know what happens when it's too hot, but kind of tells you on the can, don't do it when it's that hot. So here we have it, Gohan's head, if it'll focus. Pretty much done right there. There is some gappage. Maybe there's something kind of blocking there. Maybe that's just how it goes. But yeah, I'm going to finish this guy up, and I will do another video kind of going over, like I said, nub removal, and probably be doing seam line removal. We'll see. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was like a lot of rambling, talking here at the end. Assuming I didn't speed it up so you guys didn't have to listen to all that. But if you guys stuck around for the video, thanks. Hopefully this kind of makes you feel a little bit more comfortable on putting these together. You can see it's not too hard. It's pretty simple. And who knows, you might find it really relaxing. It's actually something I find kind of relaxing to do. Putting the model kits together is just a fun thing you may not know you enjoy yet. If you haven't done it yet, this could be like a really fun hobby for you that might lead you into Gundams. And yeah, anyways, again, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.